Take 20. Welcome to the It's After Midnight Somewhere podcast. I'm your host, Dave Foote. Hope you had a great day. I started this podcast. Is this number 4? Yeah, it's number 4. I took a couple of days off. I was going to try to do this every day, 10 minutes a day. And some days I found that some days just are a lot more work than I have the energy to do. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a break until I get into a better rhythm with doing videos. I figure, don't push it too hard. Just try to have some fun with it, and hopefully that will show. Um, anyway, so I had mentioned, I think it was my second podcast, my second video I did. I created a thumbnail for the video, and it said something to the effect of starting a podcast from scratch. Laugh if you want. Uh, so I figured, maybe it'd be a good idea, since I am starting this podcast from scratch, for anybody who might want to know how to do it as well. Maybe you'd like to know what equipment I'm using and what the process I'm going through in order to achieve better results. And that will come with time, obviously. Everything that you do requires practice. I mean, this is almost like I'm talking to myself, reassuring myself that just like everything else I've ever tried in the past, yeah, you're probably gonna suck at it. I mean, I know. I mean, that's me. I don't just start off great at anything, but it's those things that I face that I suck at. If I keep working at it and working at it, I usually achieve pretty decent results, but it does take time. And yeah, there's plenty of crashes and burns along the way, but that's part of the process. That's how you learn. Anyway, so what I wanted to share was, okay, what's the equipment I'm using? What's the software I'm using? What's the process I'm doing? Okay, so I made a list. I am using just using an Acer desktop. Nothing super special. It's not like a 5i core processor or anything like that. It's probably about 4 or 5 years old. So, nothing super special with the computer. I did purchase a Logitech 1080 high def um, webcam, and I am using what is this? An MXL microphone, and I also use the Streamlab OBS software, which is free downloadable software, very standard in the industry. A lot of people use it for streaming on Twitch, and that's actually how I kind of got into the whole recording process, because I started playing a little bit of Call of Duty 4, and my computer isn't set up to be able to play like the newest versions or anything like that, but I really got into Call of Duty 4 only because my son excels at gaming. He's been playing since he was 14. At one point, I was on a business trip, and he told me that he was ranked 16th in North America on a game called PUBG. And when I heard that, I realized, I already kind of knew that streamers on Twitch could make a lot of money with subscriptions. And so I decided, it was right around Christmas time, so I decided that I was going to do what I could to help him excel in that area. So it was right around Christmas, so we went out and bought all the equipment that he needed in order to stream on Twitch. And at that time I was like, well, I'm not really familiar with the games that you play and so on, and he suggested I try Call of Duty 4, and yeah. So I mean, I have a Twitch channel, and I'll put a link uh, in the description. If you ever want to go out and check out my videos, I primarily focus on the and I play the original Call of Duty 4, and I run through one of the walkthroughs, which is the Mile High Club, and play the veteran mode, which is absolutely the hardest level to play. And after many many hours of playing and trying and dying, I've gotten good enough that that I can actually get through that in a few tries. So again, just repetition, sucking at it at first, frustrated, but when you really put your mind to doing something, you might be surprised at the levels you can achieve. Anyway, so that was the equipment that I use. The process that I've gone through is I do the videos, I review them to see what areas I can improve on, and I do watch some videos on YouTube, typically social commentary, news, and so on. And so I mean I see how they do their videos, or I mean it might be watching fishing or raising, literally fishing or raising fish like betta and discus, or it might be videos on bonsai. It might be, I don't know, any number of interesting subjects out there. But each of those videos that I've watched, they all kind of teach me something about the process of engaging with videos and the power of videos. So the things that I realized that I could improve on, I made a list of them so I could share them with you. And it's at let's see. The first video I did not have a video thumbnail, so I created thumbnails for the subsequent videos. I think I just put in I put in a silly title like it's after midnight somewhere, because the first video I did was after midnight, and I was just like, I want to put 10 minutes in, get it done with. I didn't really think about it too much, because it's just getting over that initial shyness or self-consciousness, whatever, and you got to push through it to even get started with this stuff. So I'm always impressed when I watch videos. I mean, I figure these guys have been doing stuff for a long time, because they do it with such ease, and it doesn't feel as at ease for me. So putting in compelling titles and descriptions, making sure to ask for likes, ask for shares. If you like the video, you think other people might get something out of it, please share it. Put it up on on your social networks. If you find any entertainment value at all. Asking for comments and suggestions, and if you've watched any of the previous 2 videos, you'll see the improvements as I've gone. Let's see. One that I noticed off the last one was how many times I said in between thoughts. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to be conscious of that a little bit more. And in this video, I actually did an introduction, which I think I kind of tried to do that in this last video I did, but I didn't do a very good job. So, just having some standard introduction, and then an outro. And I've actually been pretty good at doing the outros, but I did steal that from another YouTuber that I've watched. So anyway, that's the breakdown on starting a webcast from scratch. That's where I'm at with it. Hopefully, if you're interested in starting your own, that gives you some ideas of the equipment and the process that you might find yourself going through in order to get more comfortable. Maybe you're a natural at it. Who knows? But I mean, if you got something to say, entertain people. Give people the information that you have. It may and especially in this time of COVID, this might be the best way to do it. Anyway, so let's see. My last video, I talked about the value of adversity in building character for people. And I think the subject today I wanted to talk about was the power of patience. Having raised 2 kids, I've got a ton of wonderful stories. I love how. Oh, don't touch the table. I guess I could see that the camera is like moving. Okay, so there's another thing to learn. Don't touch the table. Anyway, so there's a lot of stories that I have gathered over the years that illustrate just, the best kind of lessons that you can give as that I found myself giving as a parent. And so patience is so important with kids. Being impatient with them sends a message that they're not worth your time. And that's so damaging, and it doesn't, and it might not even, you might not even realize it. The fact of the matter is that could be true whether you're raising your children or you're in a relationship, but even more within yourself and your own process of growing and your ability to be patient with yourself. Because believe it or not, you test yourself just like your kids test themselves or test you. So the story I was going to tell tonight was about my daughter, and as is, I've got a lot of stories I like to tell about my kids, but this is one of my favorites because I think it touches at a core of the value of patience and the perspective that you can take when you're confronted with annoying behavior. So there was this one day, and I think my daughter was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm facing the television, and we have L sectional, and I had one of the sections sitting up against an adjacent wall, and she's facing me, and I'm facing the TV. So she's off to my right side, and the section she was sitting on has 2 recliners and a section with a sliding wooden little box, right, where you can put your remotes and magazines, whatever. And she's sitting there and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at the TV, and I can see her out of the right side of my eye, peripheral. And she's sitting there staring at me, and she starts doing this tap, 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 tap on the wood. And she kept that up for, I don't know, good 5 minutes. And I did not acknowledge it at all. I just paid attention to the show I was watching, and then she stopped. When she stopped, I looked at her, and she was looking at me, and she asked me the question. She said, "Daddy, how come when me and Austin are being annoying," that's her brother, "how come when Austin and I are being annoying, you never get mad?" And in that moment, the answer I was able to give her, I think, is so valuable, because it's a perspective I think many people don't realize until it's too late. And what I told her was, because, sweetheart, if God forbid anything should ever happen to you, I would be praying to hear you going tap, 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 tap. And I don't know the level of impression it made on her and her sense of my love for her, my willingness to see even the things that she thought were annoying, and to be able to embrace that with love and explain to her that when you know, in my own way, without being morbid about it, but basically saying, you know, it's the things that you would give anything. If anything ever happened to your child, you'd give anything, even to hear them being annoying. And that's how valuable they are. And I'm not saying it's easy to be in that moment and be that present mentally or emotionally with your kids. But when you can be, and you hear that kind of love coming out of your mouth as an answer to that kind of question, because certainly, I mean, it'd be real easy to get upset about stuff like that, but why? Uh, and maybe this is a good lead into probably what my next video will be about, which is and another great story about my son and my daughter about not giving people your power. So with that, this turned into, I mean, I know I was trying to keep these videos at 10 minutes with the added analysis of starting a webcast from scratch and all of that. It turned into a little bit longer, so I'll give myself that. And I hope that if you like this video, you'll hit that like button and share it and leave a comment. Let me know if there's a subject you would like me to cover. If you have any questions about me, I'm more than happy to engage in that process with your comments. Let's see. I think I did. Let me know how you think I did on my working on my ums. I know I got a couple of them in there, but I don't think there was nearly as many as the last video, or probably the other two prior to that. So with that, love yourself, love your friends, love your family,